Okay, so welcome to the town of Ruthin. I'm going to show you something now. I'm just in the bottom of Ruthin on the town, on the bridge. There's a river there, which is also here. Now this river is a different one, and it joins the ones coming under the bridge there, past the old jail. Now I'm going to show you something, which I'll show you something else in a bit. So see that there? That's what they call a culvert. The river flows through and it goes all the way up this street called Murrock Street, but many years ago it wasn't a culvert like this. It was all open all the way up the middle of the street. Obviously now it's under the road, and I'll show you where that starts, where the other side of this is, about a quarter of a mile away. So this is the start of my walk. We'd either come from Park Road there or Borthin, and we'd walk along here up Murrock Street, and I'll show you little bits of history and information on the way. Right, we're further on, still on Murrock Street. Now this estate here, nice little one. Now what's unique about this was the site of an old pop works called Ellis's, and what's unique about it, I've delivered the mail here many times, but what's unique about this is they kept the site of where the old well was, and I'll show you that now. Now, you wouldn't, if you didn't know, you wouldn't see that circle there. That was where the old well was, and there used to be a little plaque. It's overgrown now. I haven't delivered here for years. Yeah, see, if I can show you, you might see, I don't know if you can see it. See the word Ellis's there. Ellis's Table Water. Well, that's where the well was situated. Yeah. It was rather a big employer in its day for people of Ruthin, Denbigh and surrounding villages. But we move on back to Murrock Street. A bit further on now, and there's Capel de Fania. There's some good Welsh singing in there. Well, and now, isn't it? Right. There's another little bit of history from things you remember from childhood. Now, we used to call, that's still there, the Duke Stores. There's a call in there, and there's another one just on the corner, which I'll show you now. Now this place here is now a private house, but that used to be a doorway that you can tell here. That was the Crown, the old Crown sweet shop. We used to call in there for 2 ounces of cough candy twist or whatever if you can afford it, a quarter an ounce. And then we'd head then, so we've come up from Murrock Street, we'd either call in the Duke Stores or the Crown, and then we'd either head down here to the start of the Forestry walk, or we'd go up this way first, which I'm going to do it this way, so we're going up here, up to the top end of Murrock Street. And where that lorry's going now is towards Corwin and Bala and Buckgrass and all that sort of stuff, so I'll get back to you in a minute. I've just come from up here. That roundabout thing wasn't there then. This wasn't here then. This wasn't here then. And this place here used to be a farm, even though it says there hospital. It was then, but then it turned into a farm. But that's houses now. The place is changing. It goes narrow here now. Cerrig-y-Drudion, 13 miles. We're not heading there today. Right, if you remember me saying about that culvert in the beginning, that's where it starts. Goes, as I say, about a quarter of a mile. Comes out by the the old Texaco garage. Now it's something that I remember here, along this bit here, my great uncle, there was a walnut tree. Is it gone? I can't remember what it looked like, but there used to be a walnut tree along here somewhere, and just couldn't get to them because of the river. God, it's overgrown too. But that was a memory I had. And then here you can see some old houses. This is the Catholic church. The old place. And the river goes through and that past. Well, I'll show you later where it is. So on we go. And hopefully this will interest anybody that used to live in Ruthin or had relations here many years ago. How places change or don't change. So we're now coming to the top end of Murdoch Street, and I remember as a child my grandmother used to come visit a lady at End Cottage. I think, if I remember rightly, her name was Mrs. Hushin or Hession. Lovely old lady, very old dark cottage. And these white cottages here, you can see them. There's 2 cottages now. Years ago there was 4 cottages, and my great grandmother lived in the end one there. Right. I'm heading out to Llanforog Church. I'll show you that. That's another thing we used to do, was walk down there to the fields, down that track, and the rivers down there, which I showed you earlier, goes down and round to the bottom. Anyway, we're going here. I think this is the old part. Yeah. And that's Llanforog Church. That's where all the cremations are and some burials. And the new cemeteries over there. Across the road. Okay, it might be difficult to see this, but so where that fencing is there, the stream or river goes down there, and it comes out in a culvert by the new estate on the Denby Road towards Tesco, and it also comes down here to where I shown you, and it heads down Murdoch Street. So this is the other side of the church, Llanforog Church. So let's get going. And that there's the Cross Keys. If we did the walk the other way and this was last, as a treat, he'd bring me here for a glass of pop and he'd have a pint of mild. Never forget. Right, on with the walk now. So that's where we've just come from now. Through that gate. That's where we've come from Murdoch Street up. We came into the church and then back out. And then we come up here then. Up this little lane, country lane, and this heads towards a hamlet called Evernechdid. And if you carry on through there, you come out in a place called Porthglas. And this is the new cemetery here. Yeah, lots of memories here. Makes it feel like yesterday because nothing's changed. I mean, these have changed a bit, the entrance to that, and for the old cottages there. The old still the same. Lovely listed building, I expect. Thatched roof. Beautiful. Hasn't changed since the day we came. And another memory I can remember, somewhere along this hedge here, a chicken, probably from the house here, used to lay, it's had a nest and used to lay its eggs in it, and my great uncle used to lean his hand in and fetch the eggs out. How we knew it was there, I don't know. Probably Peppy the dog. Anyway, carry on. A bit further on, and yeah, it's like I can remember walking up here. He's shouting the dog, "Come here!" And we'll be sucking on the old cough candy twist. Yeah. Wow, yeah, nothing changes, is it? And as I say, this going to be a lot of sort of talking in this and following the route we did, and a bit of history as well to boot. We used to stop here sometimes and rest against the gate, have a chat. One thing I noticed as well, when you're younger, things seem so big, and this walk seems so far, but in honesty the whole distance of this in a circle would be 4 mile, something like that. Smell of wild garlic, beautiful. Yeah, and I'll show you another thing he used to do. It's terrible. In this field, I'll come to it now. I know for a fact in this bit here he used to come rabbiting. Nice view of Mulvammy from here. Yeah, he used to come rabbiting, and it was only done though to put food on the table. They ate what they caught, and if they didn't have, or if they had spare, they'd sell them to neighbours or something like that. That's how it was then. Yeah. Right, I'll speak to you now when I come to another important feature. Now, you have to excuse any noise in the background. I think somebody's working on some sort of machine over the road there, or down the field. That property there, apparently, was owned, or lived in, anyway, by a very distant relative of mine, and I'm only going by what my grandmother said. I think it was her grandmother or something, my great grandmother and father. I don't know if they owned the property or they just lived renting it, but beautiful spot, isn't it? Okay, so we're approaching now a place which is very welcome on a walk. If it's still here, I can hear something, and it's still there. Look at that. Used to have a drink from this. The dog would have a drink there, and we'd have a drink from this here. That's been nice. Beautiful. And, the building behind there, there's something to do with this actually. And apparently years ago it used to feed Ripon Castle with its water. I don't know if it still does now, but it used to. Look at the thing. We'll have a look, hang on. That's right, I remember them gates here. these buildings, I don't know. You've got to be careful in these places, you know. It's all to do with the water systems. Yeah, there's a big tank of water in there. Gives you the creeps actually. Let me put this in night vision, see if you can see anything. I'm in night vision now, and there's nothing more creepy than a massive tank of deep water. That's the roof, and there's the water there. Just looking now, obviously that's been boarded up for safety, but like any building that's not watched, I think people come in and smash the place down. I don't know. Anyway, I'm only here to reminisce. Right, I'm going to get out of here now. And that bit of stream there is where the watercress used to grow. I don't know if it still does, but I'll have a look in a minute. Now, I thought these woods, they were owned by the Forestry Commission, but as you can see there, public footpath, so we're going to go. And God, this brings memories back. Amazing. There wasn't any watercress there, so unless I missed it. Hear the birds song, beautiful. Yeah, as I say, this is a track now, and all those years ago it used to be owned by the Forestry Commission, and everybody walked up and down through here. But I've since found out the Forestry Commission have sold it in sections to people, so it's privately owned. But nice to see the footpaths being kept. So onwards. Listen to the bird song. Beautiful, that's where we've come from. There's a section where they've probably quarried some of this out for something years ago. This is a lot narrower than I remember it. You see them stone in there. It used to be a wide track, but obviously since the forestry, I suppose, sold it, there's no, well, there is vehicles coming through, but probably the owners of different parts of it. And that's a nice walk to bring back memories. I could listen to that all day. There's one thing I think is true. As I say, these woods have been, sections of it anyway, have been sold off, so I think the public path is only this track, and you know, you're not to wander off into the woods now, because you don't know which is the private bit and which isn't, so do the right thing and stick to the path, and you can still enjoy it. That's what I do. I can see now why he used to love coming here. My great uncle, I mean my late great uncle, yeah, and bring me with him. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. We're coming to the end now, where the Forestry, we come back to the road, so I'll speak to you in a bit. Really enjoyed that. Brought some memories back. Right, we're back on the road now, and in them trees, somewhere around there used to be caves, but this has all grown since then. It was open then. Some old caves, I remember looking at them. Anyway, heading now back, heading back to Murrock Street, and I'll speak to you when we get there. That tree's got to be 7 foot in the base there. You see it. But that could tell some stories, I tell you. Wow. Nice view of Ruthin Castle. Another thing he told me many years ago, where this building is now is a recreation place in Murrock Street here. This was all allotments many years ago, because my great grandfather had one, which he used to help planting stuff, and you know. So that's another interesting thing. All allotments there used to be. You see there, that's the main road from Murrock Street down towards Corwin, but this was the old road here, all the way along. This is how wide it was then, so they built that new bit much wider. That's the old road. Right, we're back in the town of Ruthin, and where we started the walk. That place, Murrock Street, Ruthin. We're back by the culvert. So that is it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.